Did you know that some countries are quietly rooting for India's rise on the global stage, but they'd never say it out loud? From strategic partnerships to shared interests, these nations are aligning with India in ways that might surprise you. Stick around until the end because the number one country will absolutely shock you. In this video, we're diving into the 8 countries that are secretly pro-India in 2025, backed by recent updates and fascinating insights. Let's uncover the hidden alliances that are shaping India's global influence. Starting our list at number 8 is Brazil, a fellow BRICS member with a growing affinity for India. While Brazil doesn't openly declare its support, the two nations share a strong economic bond. In 2025, Brazil and India have deepened their trade ties, with India exporting pharmaceuticals and auto parts while importing Brazilian soybeans and crude oil. Recent updates from the Indian Express highlight that bilateral trade reached $15 billion in early 2025, a 10% increase from last year. Brazil values India's leadership in the global south, especially in climate change initiatives, as both nations push for sustainable development. However, Brazil's neutral stance in global politics keeps this partnership under wraps, as it avoids picking sides in superpower rivalries. Behind closed doors, Brazil sees India as a key ally in balancing China's influence within BRICS, making it a silent supporter of India's ambitions. At number 7, Canada might seem like an unlikely candidate, especially after tensions over diplomatic issues in 2024. However, 2025 has seen a quiet thaw in relations. The Indian Express reported in July 2025 that Canada and India are resuming trade talks, focusing on tech and renewable energy collaborations. Canada's large Indian diaspora, over 1.8 million strong, plays a significant role in fostering cultural and economic ties. Canada relies on India's skilled IT workforce and sees it as a partner in countering supply chain dependencies on China. Despite public spats, Canada's business community is pushing for stronger ties, with investments in Indian startups doubling in 2025. This subtle alignment is kept low-key to avoid domestic political backlash, but the economic synergy is undeniable. Germany slides into number 6 with its pragmatic approach to India. As Europe's economic powerhouse, Germany values India's growing market and skilled labor force. In 2025, Germany and India signed a new green energy pact, with Germany investing €2 billion in Indian solar projects, according to Reuters. Germany sees India as a democratic counterweight to authoritarian regimes in Asia, but its public stance remains neutral to maintain trade with other powers. The Indian Express noted that German firms like Siemens expanded their manufacturing in India by 15% in 2025, creating thousands of jobs. This quiet partnership thrives on mutual economic benefits, but Germany avoids loud endorsements to protect its global trade balance. At number 5, the UAE is a key player in India's orbit. The UAE-India Bilateral Investment Treaty, effective since August 2024, has boosted investor confidence, with UAE pouring $3 billion into Indian infrastructure in 2025, per India Briefing. The UAE values India's stability and market potential, especially in energy and tech. Indian workers form a significant part of the UAE's labor force, and cultural exchanges have grown with Bollywood's influence in Dubai. However, the UAE's neutral foreign policy means it avoids openly favoring India to maintain ties with other regional powers. Behind the scenes, the UAE's reliance on India's energy imports and strategic naval cooperation in the Indian Ocean speaks volumes. Australia takes the number 4 spot with its deepening strategic alignment with India. The Quad partnership, alongside the US and Japan, has strengthened in 2025, with joint naval exercises in the Indo-Pacific, as reported by NDTV. Australia sees India as a critical ally against regional security threats, particularly in the South China Sea. Trade has also surged, with Australian coal and education exports to India growing by 12% in 2025. Despite this, Australia keeps its support discreet to avoid antagonizing other trade partners. The Indian diaspora in Australia, now over 800,000, further cements this bond, but public rhetoric stays cautious to maintain diplomatic balance. France, at number 3, has a long-standing but understated affinity for India. In 2025, France and India expanded their defense ties, with France supplying additional Rafale jets and co-developing stealth technology, per Reuters. France values India's role as a democratic stabilizer in Asia and a key buyer of its defense equipment. Bilateral trade hit €15 billion in 2025, with French companies like Airbus expanding operations in India. France's support is often masked by its broader European commitments, but its strategic partnership with India, especially in space and nuclear energy, is a clear sign of alignment. France's quiet backing is driven by shared interests in countering global threats. Japan secures the number 2 spot with its deep strategic and cultural ties to India. As Quad partners, Japan and India have ramped up cooperation in 2025, with Japan investing $5 billion in India's high-speed rail projects, according to the Indian Express. Japan sees India as a vital counterbalance to China's regional dominance, and their shared Buddhist heritage fosters cultural goodwill. Recent updates show Japan and India collaborating on AI and 5G infrastructure, with Japanese firms like Sony expanding in India. However, Japan's reserved foreign policy means it avoids openly declaring its pro-India stance to maintain regional stability. This silent partnership is a cornerstone of Indo-Pacific security. And now, the number 1 country that will shock you: the United States. Despite public tensions over trade tariffs in 2025, as noted by Reuters, the U.S. and India share a robust strategic partnership. The U.S. sees India as a critical ally in countering China's influence, with defense deals like the $4 billion drone agreement signed in 2025. The Indian Express reported that U.S.-India trade talks aim to double bilateral trade to $500 billion by 2030. The U.S.-Indian diaspora, over 4.5 million strong, drives cultural and economic ties. However, the U.S. keeps its support subtle to avoid alienating other allies. From intelligence sharing to joint military exercises, the U.S.-India bond is a powerhouse, hidden behind diplomatic caution. In a world of shifting alliances, this quiet partnership could redefine global power dynamics. The true strength of the U.S.-India relationship lies not in headlines, but in strategy. And there you have it, 8 countries secretly cheering for India's rise in 2025. From economic partnerships to strategic alignments, these nations are quietly betting on India's global ascent. Did the United States as number 1 surprise you? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more videos on global affairs. Which country's secret support shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts, and we'll see you in the next video.